Good evening, everyone. So we can start the session. Good evening, everyone. Thank you all for joining in. This is CIA Part 1 program, the first and the foremost orientation program. So a warm welcome. All those who are coming for the first time for the session series for the Certified Internal Auditor program, this is going to be a quite enriching experience. Let me quickly set the context for today's orientation program, folks. We will quickly start with the introduction. We will understand the CIA program part-wise. We'll spend some couple of minutes on understanding the registration process with IA for CIA certification. This is more for people who are who are doing this orientation program for the very first time. What CIA Part 1 covers. We'll touch upon the glimpse software and the study material that we'll use in the session series. Very important, interesting slide today that we are going to talk about, and this is for all the professionals to think through, is about the risk galaxy. Not only about the CIA program, but how the entire CIA certification can help you all to think through on the entire risk galaxy and the various service areas where we all can emerge and learn as professionals and can practice into various areas. So I'm gonna today in this orientation program, I'll share some perspective on different service and solutions that we can leverage on with the help of this program, which will be lot learning for you folks. We'll cover our approach section, that how we normally study. So again, this is for people who have not been part of the earlier part 2, part 3 session series. You will get a complete context on how we approach and how it is a unique proposition to kind of cover the entire sessions and how basically you kind of learn during the session series. So we'll cover in detail our approach. We'll also cover what are the expectations from you and from you to clear this session, to clear this exam, and we will touch upon the part 1 schedule. So those are the different agenda points in this orientation program, folks. Towards the end, I would love to hear any questions that are there among the folks to kind of take it up in this program itself, and I'll be more than happy to answer. So can I quickly hear the word yes from everyone? Are you all with me? Are you clear with the agenda points?
Yes, sir.
All right,
Yes.
Great, folks. So let's start with the first thing, which is introduction. So folks, I am a chartered accountant and I'm a certified internal auditor. I've been taking the classes on the CIA program for over 1.5 years now, and I've taught more than 300-400 folks roughly all through CIA program, as well as in part 5 program, as well as the CIA challenge program. I'm a faculty both with VGLD as well as the Institute of Internal Auditors Bombay chapter. Folks, I've been running a full-fledged firm in the name of Riskman Consulting, which is nothing. It's a risk management consulting firm for the last 3 years, and I have total 12 years experience, 12 plus years of work experience in the risk advisory domain. Before starting my own venture, I was with EY India, Genpact ERC, and Sani Natarajan in Bell, where I did my articleship, and I've got a significant good exposure in both global and domestic markets, serving different industries and clients across sectors. Very brief about me, that was, folks. I'll be more than happy to hear from you all a quick introduction, maybe towards the end of the session, along with your open doubts. If you could share some perspective, and especially those who, and especially I can see a lot of new names in this batch, folks. So more than happy to hear from you about your introduction, your experience, but that we'll do something towards the end of the orientation program along with your questions. Okay, so that was a brief introduction about me. Now coming on the first part, which is understanding the CIA program part-wise. Folks, so all of you would know that this is the global certification. I'm sure you would have been counseled about it before enrolling for the sessions, and with your experience, you would already know that this is the globally recognized certification program. The younger folks or the new folks, please understand this is one of the most acceptable certification, not only in Indian market, but in the global market, where everyone would consider this as enough and a sufficient certification to get yourself into internal audit domain. So any vacancy in any company you find it for the risk advisory domain or the internal audit function specifically, you will see that the CIA would be the qualification that is expected by anyone and everyone across the organization. So this is one of the globally accepted program, folks, and IAA Institute of Internal Auditors recommend that every practicing risk professional should do this certification and leverage the learnings in their practical world. Folks, now coming on the very quickly on the CIA program. Overall, this program is bifurcated into 3 parts. There is another mode for qualification, which is CIA challenge exam, but I'm sure you all would have enrolled for the part wise, so I'll focus on the part wise. Part-wise program, folks, it covers three parts. Part 1 is essentials of internal auditing. Part 2 is practice of internal auditing. And part 3 is business knowledge for internal auditing. Part 1, this is the orientation program for part 1. So again, we'll emphasize a lot on the part 1. Part 1 is very short and simple, but it is very difficult to clear the exam. Okay, so part 1 is essentials of internal auditing. It covers only 7 units. So pretty much the content is comparatively less as compared to part 2 and part 3. But now the part 1 has some of the most basic and fundamental concepts that need to be cleared for any risk professional. So it starts with a very basic concept of foundation of internal auditing, where we kind of understand different aspects of internal auditing, where we understand what is the mandatory guidance, we understand the definition of internal auditing, the core principles, the code of ethics, the standards, and all of those will become our foundation of internal auditing. Section 2 is more focusing only on the independence and objectivity piece. So this is very important chapter or important unit of the CIA Part 1 program, folks. I'll come on the weightage, I'll come on the strategy of this learning of the Part 1 program. But at this point of time, let's just cover the number of units that we have. Study Unit 3 to Unit 5, which covers the complete study. Okay, so there is Section 3, which is proficiency and due professional care. There is Section 4, which is QAIP, Quality Assurance and Improvement Program. So the way it is structured, we will be referring to the GLEM content. The way it is structured is the Unit 1 is Foundation of Internal Auditing, Section 2 to Section 4, which is Independence, Objectivity, Proficiency and Due Professional Care, and Quality Assurance and Improvement Program. These 3 sections are covered only in one unit, which is Unit 2, folks. Okay, are you clear with me what I've said? So what Unit 1 is, can you all say that with me? Unit 1 covers what? Unit 1 covers the
Foundation of internal
auditing. Unit 2 in the GLEM content covers how many sections? It covers
3 sections.
It covers 3 sections. What are those sections? It covers independence, objectivity, proficiency in professional care, and the quality assurance and improvement program. So those 3 sections are covered in single unit, Unit 2. The total weightage, and I'll come on that slide, folks. Section 1 and section and Unit 1 and Unit 2 together is 55% in the CIA Part 1 program, which means only the first 2 units we will be able to kind of cover more than 50% of the weightage for the examination. Okay, so that's how this is very important from the examination point of view. And this when I was saying it is difficult, it is very difficult to understand these concepts because it's look very simple, but we need to kind of understand the difference and relate it better with various practical examples, that what is independence, what is objectivity, and so on and so forth. My request is, folks, whoever is not speaking, please keep yourself on mute. This is getting recorded. Yeah, please feel free to unmute yourself and then you can participate. Yeah. All right. So that's about Section 1 and Section 4. Moving on to Section 5, which is governance, risk management, and control. So here we have Unit 3 to Unit 6, basically. So we have a unit on governance, we have a unit on risk management, we have 2 units on control, which covers the control frameworks and the control types and applications. So those are the 2 units which covers which covers another 35% of the CIA Part 1 program. Okay, so total Section 1 to Section 4 is 55%. Section 5 GRC, which is governance, risk management, and control, is another 35%, and the last one is fraud risk. So that is another 10%. So that's how the 6 sections covered across 7 units is covered in the Part 1 program. Folks, we also have Part 2, Part 3. Part 2 is 9 units, Part 3 is 14 units. So of course, we'll emphasize more on that when we move to those orientation program for those respective units. Okay, folks, for the Part 1, we have 125 questions coming in the examination. This is a 2.5 hours examination, which is 150 minutes. So we have basically 1.2 minutes for each question in the examination. There is no break in the examination. So even if you want to take a break, you want to go out for a water, you want to go out for washroom or whatever you want to go, you have to take it. There's no scheduled break. So whatever time you take for that purpose, it will be utilized or it will be consumed in your examination time itself. Okay, so we have 125 questions, 2.5 hours examination for the Part 1 program. Part 2, Part 3 is 100 questions for 2 hours paper, but for Part 1 we have a little lengthier one, which is 125 questions for 2.5 hours. Folks, now let's quickly cover and please refer to my detailed introductory session, which is also available on the YouTube for the CIA Part 1 program. That will throw more light to it. on how the registration process and stuff. But still, since some of you would be new and there would be some questions coming up on how do we register with the for the CIA program, how do we register with IIA, and so on and so forth. So I'll spend a couple of minutes on discussing about steps to be CIA and the examination fees for the benefit of the larger audience. Folks, for the CIA program, from an eligibility point of view, the easiest requirement is that you have to have just a bachelor degree and the character reference approved. So how does that work? Basically, you have to have at least a bachelor degree in your and you need to get your character reference approved either by your college institute professional, either someone senior in your organization, or you can get the character reference approved by me also. Okay, how it happens, I'll go when we move to the next slide, we'll cover that. CIE program also have experience requirement, but that is a exit requirement that okay, one has to kind of get the certification. So there should be some kind of experience for that, but that is again an exit requirement. It is not that it is required to appear for the exam. The exam window is 180 days. So basically, what are the steps? The step one is that whoever is not yet registered for the certified implementer course, it is always recommended to go and become a IIA India member. Okay, so it's always good to become IIA India member because that saves a lot of cost during your certification program. There are various chapters to IIA India, which includes Delhi chapter, Bombay chapter, Calcutta chapter, and so on and so forth. So you can enroll for your membership with any of the chapter. You will get a global membership ID. Once you get a global membership ID, you can access to your CCMS account. In your CCMS account, you have to create your profile. Once you've created your profile, you can register for the CIA program. There will be an application fee for registration, roughly about $86 for registering for the exam. Once you have registered for the CIA program, okay, correct. Please focus on this. This is important. Once you have become an IA member, it doesn't count number of years. But once you have enrolled for the CIA program, you get 3 years to complete the program. Is that clear? Does that make sense? Are you all with me, folks? Can I quickly hear the word yes?
Yes.
Yes.
Yes. So what did I say?
Yes.
I said, sorry, I'll take the questions later, folks, one by one. At this point of time, am I clear? I said that we have once the 3 years count from when the 3 years count once the application fee is paid, which means that you have enrolled for the CIA registration as in the CIA certification program. So the 3 years gets count from that day, not from the day when you have taken the IA membership. You can continue to be the member of IA and don't even enroll for this program. So that is also okay. There are so many members like that. There are other benefits of being part of the IA fraternity from a networking point of view, from a various training programs that IA conduct, and so on and so forth. Right. So, as I said, you have to kind of apply for the CIA registration. Once you have applied it, you have 3 years to complete the CIA program. You can go for part wise, and you can go for any part. Okay, so you can go for part 1 first. You want to go for part 3 first. It's okay. It's completely fine. The total saving that one can make becoming IA member and then doing this would be roughly $674, which is more than 50,000 rupees in INR. And if you are not a member, you can still appear for the exam, but that will be a costly affair. Folks, so what I was saying is once you've registered for the CIA program, you have to pay for the examination fee. So for the part 1, the examination fee is $209. Once you have paid for the examination fee, you get 6 months to register for your exam. Okay. So what is happening? You are applying for the registration. You have got your registration done, which takes some time. Okay. By the way, once you have become an IA member, to get your global membership ID, it normally takes 15 to 20 days because it's issued by the IIA global chapter. Once you have that membership ID, you can enroll and get your CCMS account up and active with your profile updated, get your character reference form approved, and then apply for the examination. So once you have applied for your examination, you get 6 months window to enroll for the dates. And this would be done at a Pearson U Center. There is no option to appear from home. Though you will see these options coming on the website, but please understand that this is only available for maybe for other chapters across the globe, but not in India. In India, we have to go to the Pearson U Center and appear for this exam. So there's no home exam. There's no option to give exam from home. Coming back to the CIA examination piece. So as I said, once you have paid the examination fee, you can appear within 6 months. Now, within 6 months, if you still want to extend, there is an additional dollar fee of $75, which you can extend it for some more time. Okay. Now, within 6 months, you can choose any date. Okay, normally the way we have seen it, you can choose even a week later date or even 2 days down the later date. Sometimes even the option is available for the next date. So this is the best part in this program, that you don't have a fixed date. You can probably enroll based on your learning and your comfort of your confidence on the subject, and you can take the date. So let's say if you're preparing on Friday, you can even look for dates nearest to the next week, and you can enroll for the nearest center available in your city. So that's about the program. You have to appear within 6 months. If you don't, you have to pay $75 fee, folks. Coming back on this, as I said, from a test point of view, I've already given a perspective. This is a 150 minutes program. It's 100% objective, which means every question is an MCQ question. You don't have to carry any pen, paper in the examination. Everything will be given by the Pearson Youth Center. There will be a thorough security check, and you will not be even allowed to carry your handkerchief. So everything you have to carry your IDs and passports, IDs, be it any government ID, be it your passport, driving license, to the center for verification. And based on that, you will be allowed to get into the center. The security process, by the way, gets again started if you take a break. So if you move out for a glass of water, you have to go back to do the entire security checks once again. So take that call accordingly, folks, if you're taking a break. Now coming back on the most important part is passing score, folks. The passing score is 600 out of 750 marks. Okay, so 125 questions are the total weightage is 750. The passing score is 600. If you pass for the exam, you will not get any score, which means you get the result only as pass. But if you fail, you will get the exact score, whatever it is, 550, 560, 570, 590, whatever it is. And also you will be given areas of improvement across those sections, those 6 sections that you talk about at the beginning, be it independence, objectivity, be it foundation of internal auditing, be it due diligence and proficiency. If you are not able to perform well in the examination, you will be given a broader perspective on areas of improvement. Am I clear so far? I'll take a quick pause to kind of hear. Am I clear so far?
Yes.
Yes, sir.
Question.
All right,
Yes,
great.
sir.
So moving
Hello?
on to the next. Yeah, Arabia, you have any doubts?
Yes, I have a question.
Hi.
So for the result, will we get the result immediately or
Yes.
Okay.
We'll
it's an
get the
immediate-
result immediately. Thanks for raising it. So folks, we'll get the result immediately. So as soon we complete the exam and we step out of the examination center, we will be hand over the result immediately by the center. Sometimes there is a problem in the server or the system. So within 24 hours, you will get the result over your email as well. Yeah.
Okay. All right.
There is
Thank you.
no negative marking. The exams can be conducted in India and abroad. There will be difference in examination fee across. I'm in India, the examination fee would be same, but for different chapters across out of India, the examination fee would vary, folks. So you have to check with your local chapter that way. Once you have completed the entire CIA program, you have to maintain your CIA certification. For that, you have to complete your 40 CPRs in a year, and that's how you maintain your CIA certification program. Yeah, please go ahead, Vikas.
Sir, I have a question.
Yeah, please go ahead.
Yeah, please go.
Sir, 180 days of examination window is for each part separately or all the part together?
3 years window, you said, Ishita?
180 days window.
So
You
180
said
days is for the examination that you have registered. So let's say you have registered for part 1 exam. So part 1 exam, the registration window, the day you have paid your examination fee, basically the day you have paid your examination fee, your 180 days start. Does that make sense?
So I will get the 180 days for each part separately.
Yes, yes. So let's say for example, you have registered for your CIA part 1 program. First of all, let's take one step by step. Let's try to make it simple. I have applied for my IAA membership. I get it in 15-20 days. There will be a cost of about 5,500 plus taxes roughly for becoming a IA member. If you are a professional, if you are a student, there is a different fee. So you can check with the IA chapter, respective IA chapter. If you have any concern, I can share a concern number on the WhatsApp group also. It's Chanchal Mishra. You can reach out to him. Anyone who want to get into the IA membership, he will help and support you get the IA membership done. So once you have the IA membership, it will take 15-20 days to get your global member ID. Once you have done it, you have to create your account on the CCMS. Once you have created your CCMS account, which is where you have to update your profile, you have to update your experience, you have to update your character reference form, get it approved. You can mention my email ID and I can share it separately also, so you can share it with me. I can approve that character reference form. Once it is done, you can then move to the next step, which is now paying for the CIA registration. Now once you have paid those $86 for your CIA registration, your 3 years begin. Now, after paying for your CIA registration, let's say you have done all this piece this month, okay? But let's say you have enrolled for your examination once we have completed the first part 1 session series. Once you have done that, let's say somewhere in August or September, you enroll for it. So you can appear within 6 months. So you have a window to close your part 1 examination within 6 months. If you don't do it, either your program fee will lapse. So you have to kind of reapply for the exam, or you have to get it extended at least 48 hours before by paying $75 to the Pearson Review Center. Does that make sense? And that 180 days will count from each part exam that you appear, that you kind of, whenever you register for each part, right?
Yes.
Does that make sense, Ishita?
Yes.
Yeah, please go ahead. Let's take Vikas' question and Namrata, then we go to you.
Yeah.
Vikas,
Hi, Arpit. Yep.
hello.
Yeah, Arpit, just a small question over here. As you mentioned that we have to register ourselves against like with IIA India membership. So
Yeah.
actually I have done that, but can I appear for my exams in abroad using that membership as it is a global membership?
I think so, yes, because and I think the examination fee would be different. You're in which part of the world? Could you please
UAE.
tell me? Sorry.
UAE.
I will still suggest you please contact Chanchal Mishra once. I'm sure there will be difference in the examination
Actually,
fee, but
I dropped him an email few days back. I
Mhm.
dropped him emails, not few days, few months back, but I didn't got a reply. Actually,
No
he
worries.
might be
I'll give
busy
you his
somewhere.
personal contact number. You can reach out to him and you can just discuss with him. I'm sure you can appear for sure. Only the fee pattern may be different for that particular location. That's my view on it.
Okay. Okay. No worries.
Yeah.
Okay. Thank you.
And we can discuss this separately. If you're facing any challenge, you can reach me out. I will try to figure out with someone in the IA, with anyone senior also. And
Yeah,
Namrata, please
that
go
would be
ahead.
great. Thank you.
Yes, sir. Sir, actually, last year, September, I paid those $86 fees. But after that, I could not appear for the exam because I was not in India. I had to travel out of India for some reason, personal reason. So I came back this month only. But I think I have, consumed those like, now I don't have those 180 days left. So I don't think
No. So let's take a pause. Namrata, you paid $86. That was for CIA registration program. So that means that you have 3 years from that particular date to complete your entire CIA program, which means all the 3 parts you have to appear and pass. Even if you fail, you have to reappear and pass. Are you getting it? So we have from the registration window, we have 3 years to complete the CIA program. The 180 days is after you pay the examination fee of that part. So I'm not sure if you have paid the examination fee of that
No,
part.
not yet. But sir, actually 2 days back, I had logged in into the CCMS portal. So I just got one notification that either I have not logged in for more than 180 days or there is some,
No, so there would be a possibility, Namrata, that your IA membership would have expired because every year we have to renew it. So if that
sir,
is the
I
case, you have
renewed.
to
I renewed. Sir, I did that when I was in USA. I had renewed there itself. I paid
Okay.
and I renewed it. Yeah.
Okay.
So I am having time, right? After I pay this first part or second, third part, whichever I'll be appearing for exam, whichever part. After that, I have 180 days. It's like that.
Absolutely, yes.
Not after
You have to
180.
pay for your examination fee and then you get 180 days, right? Absolutely.
Okay, not now, no?
Not now. If you have paid for your registration fee, that is just for your CIA entire program for 3 years. Yes.
And sir, what to do with this CCMS notification which I'm getting?
Can you share with me separately? We can take it differently, separately.
Yeah, sure. Okay, sir. Okay.
Otherwise,
Arpit,
again,
I
I
just
will
wanted to
share
add here.
Chanchal's Mishra's number. Everyone in the group, you can all reach
Arpit,
for
for
this
this
admin queries with
Namrata's
IA.
query, I can add here. I am also receiving that thing. Namrata, that is just to update the profile in the CCMS. So once you log in, you just have to go through and update your profile. It is asking for the basic details which we have entered as
I
earlier. If you
I
go through
I
the same, it will be
actually
updated.
actually last year I submitted
Oh,
everything,
sorry,
all my
folks.
documents.
Oh, sorry, we have to cut this short. We have limited time, lot to cover. So yeah, we can take this separately.
Hi, Arpit. This is Bhaswati. I have a query. I'm
Please go ahead.
extremely new to this. What is the CCMS account and how do I register there?
So Bhaswati, whenever you enroll for your global, as you become the IA member, so whenever you registered for your membership, you will get a global ID and your CCMS account, user ID, password from IA Global. And then, of course, with that link, you can basically create your student profile into that, and all your program details will be there in your CCMS account. So this is nothing. This is basically a member account, you can say, which is provided by IA Global, under which everything that you need to do. So you have to apply for your program, you have to update your experience details, you have to update your profile. Once you clear your exam, you can see the status of your exam status cleared, your CIA certification, everything comes on that CCMS account.
Okay, got it.
Yes, so it's nothing. It's just a member account, you can say, which is provided by IA Global. Yeah, please go ahead, Meet.
Hi, Arpit. This is Rohit here. I have a question. So this $86, I can pay it now just to kind of make sure that I have enrolled with IIA for the 3 years. And so the $230 for the first part. So this maybe whenever I want to kind of enroll, it would be better to pay that time, right?
Yes. So let's say you have completed your sessions by end of July, and then you feel that, okay, yes, I'm ready now. So you can just immediately pay that fee and get it done. So you can appear for the exam immediately after that. That's a very simple process. So you just like make a payment and immediately you're eligible, and within that's hardly time taking.
Okay, and like when I've already created a profile in CCMS website, but based on the what you say that we need to submit it with a character reference, so that unless it approves, we cannot pay that $86.
I guess so. Yes.
Okay.
Meet, you want to ask something? Your hand was
Yeah, hi, Arpit. Good evening. So I'm really new to this. I just wanted to understand the difference between the global membership and Indian membership. Is there any other difference?
No, so you only get global membership account, but it's just that different chapters have, as in different, you can say different regions have different examination fees. So IIA India would have a different fee for their members as compared to IIA UAE members. Similarly, IIA London would have a different membership fee for their members as compared to IIA India. So that's how the membership varies. As a membership varies across different regions, but overall we get just one single membership ID, that is a global ID. That's why there's no member ID that is issued by IIA India. It is always comes from the IIA Global, which takes about 15-20 days time roughly.
Got it. Thank you so much. That's it. Thanks.
Great. Bishop, please go ahead.
Arpit, I have a similar question. Do IIA has a role of facilitating us with the CIA, or IIA also provides some certification courses?
I didn't get your point. So you're saying licensing as a?
Licensing us with CIA, does their IIA have this role, or do IIA also provides its own certification courses?
No, so this is the certification course that is provided by IIA only, right? So the CIA, the certification is issued by Institute of Internal Auditors.
Okay.
Does that make sense? So IIA is nothing. IIA is the body, right? So it's the Institute of Internal Auditors is a international body that provides 2 certifications, actually 3: internal audit practitioner, which is for junior folks who are getting into the IIA world, you can say internal audit world. So that's a basic course, which is basically a shorter version of complete CIA program, and it holds true for 3 years. And after that, you have to go for the CIA program. So that's one certification that IA provides. The CIA is the second and the most prominent one, most promising one, and which is globally accepted. And the third is CRM, which you can do after CIA. So those all 3 things are provided by IA only. Yeah. Does that make sense? For sure.
Yes, sir. Thank you so much.
Yeah. All right. So folks, can we move forward now? Are we all clear so far? Yeah.
Yes, sir.
Are you all with me? Yes, no?
Yes, sir.
Yes.
All right, perfect. So I think I've already covered the steps to be verified, and I've already covered the benefits of being IA members. Now coming on to, and I think I've already touched upon this registration process with IA as well. So as I said, so normally a new member fee costs 5,500 plus GST, renewal costs 4,000 plus GST. This is different other than the application fee of $86. $86 is for the CIA registration. So first of all, you have to become a member, get your global ID done, create your profile in the CMS, which is Certification Candidate Management System, upload your required documents like proof of identity, proof of education, complete the character reference form process, register for the exam by paying those, register for the CIA program first of all, and then register for the exam, and then assess the nearest Pearson VUE tab in your CCMS account and select the date of your nearest examination center. Okay, so that's the complete process. Now coming on the coverage, folks. Okay, so yeah, so coverage, CIA Part 1 coverage, folks, as I said initially, that these are just 7 units. So 7 chapters that you have to cover for the Part 1 program. The first unit, 15%, the second unit, 40%, that is independence, objectivity, due diligence, professional care, and quality, and assurance and improvement program, QIP. So together it is 55%. Strategically speaking, Unit 1, Unit 2, Unit 7 contribute 65% of the program, and that's hardly 60 to 70 pages. Another 130 odd pages are Unit 3 to Unit 6. So I always recommend and emphasize that you have to focus a lot on Unit 1, Unit 2, Unit 7, because you'll see variety of questions coming from that. You have to make this unit really strong to kind of conquer any examination question that comes in. You have to clear it with appropriate accuracies and correctness. Unit 1, Unit 2, Unit 7 is such important. Another 130 pages, which is Unit 3 to Unit 6, which is the entire GRC process, governance, risk management, control. That is 35%, folks. Now, again, 35% is not less. So there will be oddly 40, 45 questions coming from this unit. So it equally becomes important. And the most difficult part of the CIA program, any part is folks to score more than 80%. You can score 50, 55 easily. It gets difficult to score 65. It gets a little bit more difficult to score 75, and it's really difficult to score above 80. So the accuracy, the underlying concepts to learn how to differentiate into various things becomes very important to clear the exam. The most difficult part is to clear the exam because the score is the percentage of passing score percentage is very high, which is 80% of the exam. Okay, I'll just throw some light here, folks, towards if I have to put it this way, overall across the world, the passing percentage is roughly 33 to 35%. So any person who appear for the exam, roughly 33 to 35% people basically pass the exam. And this is way less as compared to any other global certification. Let's talk about CFE, let's talk about CP or any other. The global pass percentage score as compared to other programs in CIA, it is lesser. Okay, but with the session series, the way we conduct, the pass percentage goes significantly higher. So you don't have to worry that it's because people may be not going it thoroughly or not understanding the underlying concept. But with the kind of session series that we conduct, the pass scores percentage scores significantly high. Okay, so I think I've already touched upon the overall coverage, folks. Now coming on the Glimpse software and study material, very simple. So you all will be getting the printed books of each parts. You will get the access to the Glimpse software by VGLD. You will see roughly about 750 plus questions in Glimpse for the CIA Part 1 itself. You have to practice all those questions as part of your homework. You can practice questions unit-wise in Glimpse software. You can mix it across different units. You want to try random pattern. You want to try standard questions, standard approach. You can do any way, and you can practice in different ways for Glimpse software. Apart from the Glimpse software, you will also get access to the LMS system by the VGLD. So this is a learning management system which will have all that we have covered in the session series. So you will get the recorded videos. This today orientation program is also getting recorded. So you will get everything that we talked in the sessions in the LMS system. So you will get all the sessions being recorded. You will see the presentations that are used in the recording uploaded on the LMS system. You will see the MCQs that we are kind of discussing on the LMS system. So there's various things that gets covered in the LMS system. I'm not sure about MCQs still coming in the LMS system, but that's kind of covered through Google Forms in the session series itself. But that is something that we discussed to kind of upload in the LMS. But surely you will get the presentations that we're covering and the video recordings in the LMS system. I'll take a quick pause. I think there was a hand raised. Yes, please go ahead with your question. Please call out your name, folks, so that everyone know that who's speaking. I think that was Abhinav. Abhinav, you had any questions?
Yes. By how much percentage the passing percentage raised? You said it is globally, it is too low, 35%. Then you said that you conduct the program in such a way that percentage rises. So how much percentage it has rise?
So I think we have crossed over 60-65%. Most of the people who appear clear the exam, other than a couple of folks who failed by margin numbers, and there's always areas of improvement. So we support them, but I think overall we have reached the level of 65-70% easily. All those who are appearing for the session series, normally 65-70% people clear the exam. It also depends on number of people appearing for the exam also, right? So it varies.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay. Thanks.
Isha is asking, will we get the access to the Glimpse software for only part 1 and have to enroll again for other parts? Isha, this is something from a Glimpse software point of view. Please check with VGLD. They handle all these admin activities. I'm sure if you have enrolled only for the part 1, you will definitely get access to at least part 1. I think there is a different costing for other parts. So I'm sure there will be certain protocols that would be followed. So please feel free to reach out to the VGLD team to kind of take that clarity. Yeah, Nupur, please go ahead.
Actually, I can answer this. I recently got the access, so I was able to access all the parts. So just thought to give an update on that. So we can access all the parts, questions, then MCQs.
Okay, great.
Hi, this is Soumya, but I have checked this only for whatever part we have paid, we get access in GLEM. I mean, because that session series. LMS, we get the recordings, we do get for sessions, even section part 2, part 3, but not GLEM, because GLEM is the question answer in there, right?
Yeah,
So
yeah.
that we get only.
I honestly think that it should be for each part because there is a significant costing difference for each part from a GLEM content point of view. So I don't know the way the backend team is supporting. So you all have to reach out with this queries related to GLEM access, with the access to LMS system with the VGLD team. In case you are facing challenges, please raise it to me so that I can accordingly escalate and get that resolved. Yeah, please go ahead, Rajesh. Rajesh, you're on mute. Please go ahead. Thank you, Soumya, for adding. And thank you, Nupur, for adding. Rajesh, you're on mute. You want to ask something? Okay, we have a question from Venkateshwari Konar. The person is saying, are each units one chapter each or they are one book each? These are one chapter each, don't worry. So we don't have to read 7 books. Yeah. All right. So great. All right, folks. So now coming on, I think we have largely covered on, are you all clear so far? Can I quickly hear the word yes from everyone? We have 32 folks. I would like to hear some various voices. Are you all with me? Atul, Rohit, Alabya, Alex, Rohit, Rishabh, Saloni, Vikas, everyone? Muhammad Khan, yeah. Are you all with me, folks? Yes?
Yes.
Yes, sir.
All right. So now coming on, very important slide, folks, and this is for everyone. And please feel free to add, folks. This is the Risk Advisory Services Galaxy, which I would like to kind of bring to the light of the group and all the people who are seeing this recordings. When we talk about internal audit, or when we talk about certified internal audit course, it is not just thinking from an internal audit function point of view. We are talking about risk advisory services, folks. In the today's modernized world and the growing need of risk professionals in the market, there is a huge potential scope about after getting into the certification for people who have already experienced after getting this additional certifications. It gives you a lot of more leverage to open up and explore in various fields. Now, if I have to talk about the risk advisory services galaxy, just think and take it as a little bit more eye opener, folks. We can broadly categorize the entire risk advisory services into broad 4 categories, which is assurance. See, normally when we will read internal audit definition, we'll cover assurance and consulting engagements. But if I have to talk it about practically, there are various assurance services that we can do. There are various consulting services that we can do. There are various solutions independently, which are now kind of in the market, where we kind of give services to the organizations, and even we can take a role of compliance also. So when it comes to assurance, like the bread and butter, which starts with internal audit, right? So when it says certified internal auditor, the basic is internal audit. It's the core heart of entire risk advisory services. So we can talk about being into internal audit profession, being into SOX engagements, being into IFC, which is internal financial controls, designing, testing reviews. We can get into due diligence reviews. We can get into fraud forensics. We can get into concurrent audits. When it comes to consulting, we can take roles of designing standard operating procedures for the company. We can do intelligent automation work. We can do business excellence. We can do re-engineering business processes. All of the different areas we can get explored to. Other than that, there is very important is different solution, folks. Now we are talking about ERM, enterprise risk management. We are going to talk about TPRM, which is third-party risk management, IT risk management. Sorry, there's some disturbance, folks. Whoever is not speaking, keep yourself on mute, please. Yeah. So we are talking about ERM, we are talking about TPRM, we are talking about IT risk management, we are talking about control self-assessment, CSA, we are talking about GSC, which is global, or you can say governance, risk management control. We're talking ABAC, which is anti-bribery, anti-corruption. We're talking about AML, which is anti-money laundering. We're talking about credit risk. We're talking about cybersecurity. We're talking about digitizing as a solution. So many services that we can do in this domain, folks, in this entire risk advisory services galaxy. Other than that, we can also nowadays, we are also solutioning on the specific compliance role. So we talk about GDPR, which is on the data privacy rules, general data protection regulations. We're talking about CCPA, which is California Consumer Privacy Act. We're talking about the most emerging recent solution domain, which is ESG, environment, social governance. We're talking about tax and legal compliance. There's so much to be done in this particular risk advisory services. Does that give you some light on this entire course or entire profession is not just doing internal audit, but it's far, far, far beyond it, folks. It's far beyond the approach. There is a huge scope of various services. And as I said, the risk cannot be eliminated. There will always be a need of risk professionals. So you can leverage the discussions, you can leverage the learnings in the session series all across these service lines so that you can get a thought process. So when we are going to talk about ERM, which is part of our syllabus, we will understand not only from a fundamental concept of just clearing the exam, we should also understand what in principle means ERM and how do we do if we actually get a ERM engagement. If we are going to cover somewhere on the IT risk management space, we should understand what does it cover, what are the different ITTC controls. It should cover, okay, what are the emerging areas in the IT risk management space, be it from a smart solutions audit, smart device audit, be it covering the cybersecurity reviews, be it covering the ISO certifications, be it covering the SOC audits, or so on and so forth. So there's various areas that in itself gets covered under these different solutions or service lines. Does that make sense, folks? Are you able to connect and think through? Any person who is more from a senior folks could think through on this lines, would like to add something? Anyone? Are you able to get through the process or understand that the huge potential scope that is there? I have specifically brought this slide, folks, because I continue to get this queries from everyone that what are the potential scope in these areas. And even as a learning professional, a lot of people think that, okay, we have done CIA, so we should only focus on internal audit. That's not true, folks. You have to kind of think through on the entire risk advisory services galaxy. Yeah, does that make sense? Are you all with me? Yes, no?
Yes, sir.
Yes.
Yes,
So
yes,
are you all excited to learn, to get a flavor of those many service lines?
Yeah.
Yes.
yes, sir.
Yes.
Definitely.
Arpit, Prabhu here.
Pramod, please go ahead. Yeah, thank you.
I just wanted to add, sorry, pardon my voice. I just wanted to add something which you have just mentioned. Risk advisory, from the perspective of the internal audit, risk advisory, assurance, consulting are right. But I think there is a huge gap from the user's perspective as well. So in my organization, we have an enterprise risk management team and an internal audit team separately. But continuously, I find there is a gap between what is supposed to be given, what is supposed to be mentioned by the user functions like finance, operations. How do they interpret these particular enterprise risk management and be ready so that the internal audit, I mean, they can themselves do the audit in their own function. There is a huge gap where these particular understanding, there's a huge understanding gap where these concepts are not very clear with the business user functions as well. So not only from the internal, so not only from the internal audit perspective, not only from the internal auditing perspective or auditing through a risk management perspective, but it is also imperative that as a education, we should also facilitate the business users to set the right kind of processes, set the right kind of controls against the risks which are there across the functions over there. That is where the value-added part will be there. The consulting part will be there for the particular roles that we play in whatever organizations we work for. That's it. Thanks.
Absolutely, that's very well said, Pramod. I think uh, I mean, you're talking about probably a mature organization where at least they have an understanding of the internal domain. To my experience, there are still so many various organizations which still think that internal audit is just about vouching. So I think it's on us as a risk professionals to kind of bring that awareness among the leadership team, among the board, to kind of think through on these processes, because still there are people who think, okay, internal audit is just about internal auditing of various processes. But now we have completely changed the approach, right? So earlier we used to call it just internal audit. Now we are talking about risk-based internal audit. So Pramod, I think you have categorically highlighted a very important point, which is awareness from a business user perspective. So I think this course would eventually help all the risk professionals as well to kind of think through on those lines to how do we do. First of all, we should ourselves understand the concept of what is ERM, right? So I've seen a lot of risk professionals who have been part and parcel of this service lines for many years. But if you have to ask me, they would have looked into from a very specific aspect of doing a couple of internal audits for various countries, various clients across in the last 5-6 years, if they have exposure of those lines. But to cover the entire risk galaxy and think through on these different service lines, it itself needs a lot of experience and thought process that, okay, yes, there are so much more that can be done. And once our own in risk professions gets educated and we leverage on these discussions that we'll have in the session series to think through on these service lines, folks, that is very important to think through from how do we bring awareness on this. We can explore the service line because all of these solutions are individually in significant demand. I'm sure there will be versatile experienced professionals in the group itself. Some of you would be in SOC, some of you would be in due diligence, some of you would be in the fraud forensic, some of you would be in ERM, or someone of you would be in internal audit, and so on and so forth. Maybe a couple of you would be in IT risk management as well. So I think together we have to think through that there is so much potential scope, and of course we as a professional need to bring a lot of awareness among various organizations to kind of give them a thought process that how this is different and how it can value add to their overall, how it can overall add value to achieve business objectives for the company. Thank you, Pramod, for adding that. Folks, are you all with me? Yes, please.
This is Soumya, and I wanted
so
to say that this slide seems to be very useful, especially for people who are starting their careers or who want to venture into independent consulting so that they can position and place themselves, and or if people who are more interested into particular segment, they can go into that segment and specialize that. So it gives a very wide array which this course opens us to. So it's very helpful. Thank you.
Thank you, Soumya. Thank you for that.
yes,
The whole intent was that, yeah. Please go ahead, Ratul.
I love this side, Arpit. Hi. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Okay, I also wanted to add a few things that right now I'm already an internal auditor, so I can actually understand that internal audit as a profession has actually changed a lot, because I have worked with few years back I have done concurrent audits, bank audits and all those things, and right now the internal audit team which I am into, so from not even like just to audit things, we are also doing all of the special projects that we have in internal audit now, apart from regular audit engagement, also the special projects review. Now the basic difference, for example, in an internal audit review we would have to give the observations and findings and audit rating, but like in special audit the rating is not there. So that's kind of one of the difference, and also giving consulting services, assurance services. So it's actually become very diverse, what I wanted to add my own experience to.
No, absolutely, Arabia. So that's a very important point. I think all of us has to kind of think through on this, this slide is very important. Honestly, this was also shared with IAA in long back, couple of months back, on one of the articles that I wrote for IAA in the magazine, and this was specifically folks created for this purpose only, that we should think through that there's a huge demand and there's a huge value add that we can do. honestly, today I'm here for taking these sessions, not only for the purpose of taking the session, just to add back to the fraternity and think through on a process that we as a professional has to carry a lot of weightage and a lot of value that we need to bring out to for us as internal auditors. There are a lot of seniors who have significantly added value and brought our profession to a typical thought process of doing internal audit in a watching mode to versus what is the different value add that we can do. But there's a significant change that is happening in today's world, and we all need to kind of be prepared for that. And that's the reason I've kind of specifically mentioned IT risk management, cybersecurity, digitization, because though these are still very prominently followed, but these solutions, the one in the greens, are still under significant adoption, and only very few top-notch companies or the ones which are US listed or globally listed companies would be looking for these part of their entire overall mandate. But how I see it is there's a significant demand and need for this, be it from a third-party risk management point of view, be it from a customer due diligence point of view, and so on. So be it from an investor-centric point of view, all of this becomes very important, and we have to kind of have the understanding of these solutions as well to add more and more value and emerge on these emerging practices, because it's really important to kind of explore these fields in your profession. Yeah. Great. Anyone? Atul, you had any query? Are we good? Are we all good, folks? Are you all with me? Yes? No?
Yes.
Rohit, Sisodia, Salonis. Yeah. Yeah, Atul, please go ahead. Yeah, Ishita, you want to ask something?
No, sir.
Yes, sir, it's clear, sir. You explained everything, sir.
Great. Wonderful. So now coming on our approach, which is like very important to understand that, okay, this is what exactly we're going to do in the session series, right? So let's try to understand, folks, and this will be slightly repetitive for all those who have already attended part 2, part 3. So please bear with me, and maybe you can add your learning and perspectives for for other members who are first time coming on for this CIA part 1 program, because you have some kind of learning and experience on your part 2, part 3. But let me for the fresh highlight point of view, folks, let me start what is our approach. So this is a very practical approach, and the way we have seen and understood is this kind of helps to the entire approach that I will be taking you through will help you to understand that how easy it becomes to understand the concepts and how easy it becomes to kind of understand everything from an examination point of view as well. So it's a combination of multiple things and multiple thoughts and overall learning that has brought and created this approach towards learning. So let me take you through it. The first and the foremost is the clear perspective on what we are going to learn in the session. So basically, whenever we will start a session, folks, we will first of all get a clear perspective on what we are going to learn in the session. The second would be what are the key topics in the unit. Okay, so let me cover 2 points with the help of slides. Let's say this is the slide. Okay, so we are talking about the first topic, which is the first unit, foundation of implementing. So first of all, we'll understand what are the different subunits in a particular unit. Let's say foundation of implementing. What are the various topics that gets covered? This will be our first slide to get a perspective on what is the learning for the first session or the first unit, as what are we going to learn. The second step is the key thoughts. Now, under each topic, let's say applicable guidance IPPF, what are we going to learn? So let's say the first thing is understanding the IPPF framework. So this is in the applicable guidance IPPF, we are going to learn understanding the IPPF framework, and under which we will learn mandatory guidance and recommended guidance. So this is something that we will cover at the beginning of the session itself to understand, okay, today we are going to learn this. And of this, these are the different topics and different thoughts that we are going to cover. And the underlying ones are the more important from the examination point of view. And we have to kind of emphasize. Now, what we have to do is we have to go through the content as a next step and come back and reflect on these key thoughts, that whether we are able to locate, okay, are we clear on mandatory guidance? Are we clear on recommended guidance? Are we clear on the core principles? Are we clear on the definition of implementing? So this is how we have to kind of relook and rethink on this entire slides. Okay. So the first slide will give you the clear perspective on what we are going to learn. The second slide is going to cover what are the key thoughts in the unit. Once you are done with this, the third is 100% coverage of GLIM study material. Folks, a lot of people may think through that, okay, this is why we are going to 100% coverage, but this is only to help you to get the confidence. So it's not just me reading it out. I will be kind of sharing the perspective. I will be covering the content But at the same time, there's a lot of participation in the sessions that happen. I request folks to kind of participate, read the content in order to keep the people engaged and learning throughout the session series. Okay, so that will be the third step. So that is 100% coverage. So you don't have to worry that in the examination you're left with some content or you have not read it. We will read word by word 100% of the GLIM content, which in itself is more than sufficient for the examination. After that is the fourth point, which is the concept clarity with practical examples. So all the topic that we cover, let's say, for example, internal audit charter, we start. So it's not just reading out the internal audit charter. We'll try to understand that how actually an internal audit charter looks like in the practical world. So we'll take certain examples of various internal charters that are kind of being followed by various companies, and we'll relook. Okay, this is how an internal charter looks like. Okay, when it comes to let's say when it comes to let's say flow chart, understanding the flow chart concept. So then we will probably take it up on one session on the Microsoft Visio to understand that, okay, how actually a flow chart gets prepared. Let's say when we are going to talk about the control types and applications, instead of reading the content, we'll try to relate with different business value chains that happens practically and try to take various examples across those business value chains. We'll cover how a risk control matrix gets prepared. So it will be more practical, folks, as and when we move forward to respective units. Wherever there's a scope of doing things practically, we'll try to cover it practically. Okay. So let's say we are even talking about QIP program, quality assurance and improvement program. There are important things to be learned, but how do we do a QIP program? How do we actually do a quality assurance and improvement program review is something that we are going to kind of cover in the session series. So it will be more practical oriented. All right. So this will, and with that approach of concept clarity with practical examples, this will actually help you folks to kind of learn it practically and apply it on the field also. Okay, so that's important. Moving on, after that will be the things to remember. And now this is the most important capsules or most important key takeaways after each session. So after each session that we cover, we kind of do we follow a ritual of doing the key things to remember, folks. So let's say, for example, here this is a key things to remember slide that's kind of cover what are the key topics, and we kind of there's a ritual that, okay, everyone in the session series would kind of read the underlying part. So let's say if I'm saying implementation standards, then all of you have to read it. Okay, it extends upon other category of standards. Now, at this point of time, you don't know the concept, so you may not be able to read it, but when we are going to cover it and when you're going to read it, you will remember this. And the importance of this is huge in the examination, because you will see a lot of questions coming with the fundamental concepts where these important keywords will add a lot of value and help you to answer the examination. So things to remember is most important from the examination point of view. Coming back on the revision of each session. So after we complete each session, let's say we have completed the session on Saturday, when we start Sunday, we will first of all do a quick revision, again a participative one. What were the key learnings? What were the key topics that we have covered? What were the key takeaways? Okay, what we have done. Okay, let's say how many core principles do we have? How many types of standards we have? What is covered in mandatory guidance? There will be various questions that would be asked, and I would request everyone to kind of participate. So there will be revision of each session at the beginning of a new session. After completing each unit, we are going to practice a lot of MCQs directly in the session series right there, so that we are able to attempt those MCQs, get a practice on hand. We'll discuss and deliberate the overall score in the session and try to see that where we are going wrong, what we are going wrong, where we are going wrong, what is the average score, are we able to understand the concept. Even if the score is low in the session series, don't get bothered, folks. It hardly matters. The most important is to kind of understand that what was the right way to answer it. So the whole idea to do MCQs in the session itself is to kind of get a flavor of what we are doing it, and it's again time bound, folks. So if let's say we are practicing 30 questions, so we'll give 30 minutes, not even 1.2, 36 minutes, right? So 30 to 35 minutes to appear for the exam, so that we get a hold on how do the examination is, since it's time bound. So it's good to do right in the session series itself. So we'll do the MCQ sessions, and then and then there are Q&A sessions as well. So if anyone has queries, so people can discuss and deliberate on that. We also do, after some times of the time lapse, about a month later when the course gets completed, we also try to do a revision session, so that people who are not able to appear for the exam can take a quick look on the revision session. So if you would have seen to the recorded version, you would have seen for part 1, part 2 we have done, and we've recently completed for part 3. So we'll probably do it in a month's time. So that's the overall approach, folks. Does that make sense? Are you able to understand how and what way we are going to study, learn, and conduct these session series? Does that make sense to you? Any doubts on this? Yeah, I'm coming on the schedule, Isha. Any doubts, folks? Are you all with me? Can I quickly hear the word yes, folks? This is something that you will continue to hear from me all throughout the session series. You have to be, I have to have you back with me in the session series, folks. So are you all with me? Can I quickly hear the word yes?
Yes.
Yes, sir.
Yes.
Yes.
Yes, sir.
All right, perfect. Rishabh, you're with us. Richa, Rajesh, Vaibhav, Venkateshwari.
Yes, sir.
Yes.
Yep.
Meet, Harinath, Govardhan,
Yes,
Ayushi,
sir.
Alex.
Yes, sir.
Yes.
Yes.
Perfect. All right, folks. So as I said, see, apart from this, let's say if there are certain important topics or there are certain examples that are important for the exam. So we'll also cover it through the presentation slides, which could be linked through various contents, or there could be different sources of contents and experience that would be kind of brought in and cover it through various slides. So let's say, for example, when we are going to cover understanding IPP, we would cover from the slides. We will have to kind of crisp it across one slides to kind of do a quick revision on things. Let's say the structure of the book is different. We'll still try to use certain slides and PPTs for a quick revision, which will be helpful for you folks in the examination. And we'll cover the perspectives. We'll cover it through various examples. What are the key things that we need to remember? We'll leverage on certain presentation slides that will be used in the exam. That will be used in the session series also. But saying that, apart from that, we'll still cover 100% GLIM content. All that we use in the slides will be helpful from revision or cover different thoughts and aspects. But GLIM is 100% content. All others are additional. Okay, so the practical example, internal audit position papers, checklist, QIP program, how internal charter prepares practically and stuff. We'll refer to different documents and all, but that will be in addition to the GLIM content. Okay, this will be, so we'll have a Google form to appear for the MCQs, folks. We'll practice it, and that's how we will normally do it. So that is the broad approach, folks. Now coming on, what are the expectations from you? Now this is again important. Whatever we could do, we'll do it. Anyone who would like to add from the previous program, who have attended part 2, part 3 on the overall approach, in case anyone has doubt, Soumya, you have been with us on the previous program. Harinath, you're there. Anyone you would like to share some thoughts on the overall approach? Are we good, or I've covered everything?
Yes, overall approach is good. And what I find is, as you always say, that if we study during the week for the MCQs for whatever questions you teach, and we are able to attempt the MCQs, and we keep doing regular studies during the week along with the weekend, after the weekend you have taught, it helps us as it's fresh in our memory. So we are more getting prepared for the exams, and that's what I observe.
Right. Thank you, Soumya. Nobody want to say something?
Yeah.
Pramod, please go ahead.
I just wanted to add, I mean, taking a cue from Amit's experience, I would like to say that what I did not did in the last in the part 3 session was I did not pre-read the content while attending through the sessions. But what I'm going to do now is pre-read the content and then attend the session, so that whatever doubts are there, it is already there in my mind, and when if it is getting solved, it's good. Otherwise, I'll have those specific focus questions to work with. That is what I'm.
That will also be great way of doing it, Pramod. So no worries. In fact, you will find it that okay, once you have gone through it, and after the session, you will understand. Okay, this was again another way of seeing it. So you will find those aspects in the session series, because I've got that feedback sometimes that okay, some of those folks says that okay, I've done unit 1 and I'm confident about it, or let's say I've done unit 2, I'm confident about it. But when we go back and think through from a different concept point of view, no, this is something that you have to read it this way. That helps a lot also. So that will be good learning, and a lot of participation can also happen.
One more thing,
so great approach, yeah.
One more thing from my personal experience, I have been handling sort of quality assurance in different aspects in finance department. So there are some concepts in the study that challenge my beliefs, that how can this be this particular thing. So we have asked a lot of questions to you as well, that I think this is right, then why is it wrong. So one more thing which I would say is that I would try to unlearn a lot of things which are there and look through the content with a very fresh perspective, so that it doesn't create a confusion during giving answers.
Yeah, absolutely, Pramod, absolutely.
Hi, it's Abhinav. Just one suggestion. Prior intimation about cancelling of the classes will help us actually.
Prior intimation of?
For cancelling classes if classes not being conducted or it is postponed. So prior information will help us to schedule our day actually.
Yes, yes, absolutely, Abhinav. Absolutely. Yeah. Nobody want to go ahead?
Yes, I would like to mention, as it was even mentioned by you earlier, we should be prepared for the class, pre-read, revise once the class is done, go through the PPTs as you've mentioned, so that 3 times reading will always be helpful. And the last mantra is don't wait, just immediately give the exam.
Yes, true. Thank you for adding it. I have not covered that mantra of appearing fast yet. Thank you for that, Nubur. Yeah. Yeah. Bashruti, you want to ask something? Alex, you want to ask something? Yeah.
Yes, Arpit. I mean, just to Nupur's answer. So, just want to understand. I mean, it's a good way to appear part-wise, or we have to wait all the parts then to appear the examination?
No, please, no. You have to go part-wise.
Okay.
Yeah.
Thank
So
you.
in fact, we'll have to go fast. Okay. So let's say we complete the schedule, and I'm coming on the schedule quickly after this. So whenever we complete the schedule, it's always recommended to take a target of within 1 month. We have to close the exam. We have to appear for the exam at max 1 month. So we should not stretch beyond a month, because the more we stretch, we are going to delay it more, and we are going to lose the hold on the concepts.
Get it. Thank you.
So immediately after the session series gets completed, we have to kind of appear fast. Yeah.
Get it.
Arpit, sorry, I was on mute earlier. Just wanted to check, will you be letting us know in advance which parts you'll be covering on a particular session so we can do a pre-read and come?
So it is going to follow, it is going to be a pattern schedule. So let me cover the schedule first and then the expectation. So today we are on the orientation program, folks. We start with the session 1 on the 4th of June, which is the next weekend. We are beginning with the session series. The timings would be 5:30 to 9:30 for all these programs. We'll take a short break during the session series. Now coming on, we'll follow the pattern. So we'll start with unit 1, then unit 2, then unit 3, and so on and so forth. So all throughout the session series, I'm targeting to complete the entire session series across 15 sessions, which would be ending up somewhere towards the end of July. So since we're starting in the first week of June, in the 2 months time, we are going to kind of complete the entire part 1 program, and we will follow with the right pattern. So we'll follow with unit 1. So when we start on the 4th of June, we'll start with unit 1 itself.
Okay, got it.
Yeah. All right. So yeah.
Vikas here.
So I think please go ahead, Vikas. Yeah.
Yeah. I think just a small question. Like as we have discussed, like it would be.
Can you be a little louder, Vikas? Sorry. Vikas, can you be a
okay.
little louder? Sorry. Yeah, please.
Yeah. Hello. Now it's clear.
Yeah.
Now it's
it's better. Yeah. Please.
Yeah. Okay. Just I'm asking, like as we have discussed, once we are going through the session, then we have to reread it ourselves, and then it would be great, like if you could go and appear on the GLAM software, the test MCQs we can appear for. So just a small question here is, like, rather we should wait for the whole unit to be completed, or we can go and appear there subunit wise or something.
So you can appear for the part wise. The best way of the GLAM is that every unit is also bifurcated into different parts. So let's take an example. Let's go back on this slide. Okay. So let's say we are talking about these eight slides. Okay. So 8 subunits, you can say. So what will happen is, let's say application guidance IPPF. You will see that there will be 8 subsections even in the GLIM content. But let's say we have covered in the first session the first 4 units. So could be, let's say, 30 questions or 20 questions all across these 4 subunits. You will see in that software you can appear for that, or you can kind of see, it depends. If you want to do it that way it's up to you. Or you can probably appear for the complete the unit. My suggestion would be folks would be to not try the questions the same day. I'll tell you the reason why. Okay, the reason why is that we practice MCQs in the session series itself, right? And most of the questions that we refer to in the session series are also from GLIM, and those are not all of them, but those are the trickier ones, and that will help you to kind of fundamentally clear the concepts. So my suggestion is to kind of appear for the questions only after we have practiced the MCQs in the session itself. Again, the reason I'm saying it is otherwise, whatever you're going to see the MCQs in the session, it will not be much useful for you, because you will already appear for those MCQs beforehand, And when you are going to appear for the MCQs in the session, it will not become too much useful for you. That again is not a good sign. The reason is, what should be the right way of approaching towards those MCQs? You will miss that in the session because you will have a pre-thought process to it. So my suggestion is, once the MCQs are covered in the session itself, after that, try all the MCQs in the glimpse so that it will give you confidence and it will also give you a thought process to appear. So that would be my suggestion. Again, as I said, because most of the MCQs will be from glimpse. So let's say if we have covered in the first session the first four subunits, and now let's say, for example, you have appeared for it, and the next day we have covered another 4 units, another 4 subunits, and we are practicing MCQs now. Then for you, it will be the first 4 will be repetitive because you have already appeared for the claim and now you are reappearing for the similar question, so it will not add much value to you. My suggestion is, let's do the MCQs in the session itself, and then once we have a clarity and once we have a time-bound activity also, because the way I see it is, in the session, how does it help? The session is time-bound, right? So you get 1 minute to appear for the exam. Unlike when you are sitting at home, when you're appearing, you may take extra time also. So that will actually not be too good to do it, because in the session you will get that hand practicing also, that no, okay, every question I have to appear in a minute. So you will have that urgency, you will have that discipline to appear the questions also, and you can get insights on where we are going wrong, and then practice at length all the MCQs. So that would be my way of suggesting to everyone. Though you have an option to do it that way. Yeah, please go ahead. Does that make sense?
Yeah, Arpit. Yeah, thanks.
Yeah, okay. All right. So coming back on, folks, on the schedule part, so I think I've already covered the schedule. I've already spoke about it. So we're starting with 4th of June, and we're planning to wrap up on 30th of July. So this is, I think there were a couple of questions in the chat box. How we need to schedule ourselves before class. Will you be shared any study planner? Saloni, I think I've answered your question. Is there any study plan provided for guidance? So Venkateshwari, so the study plan is simple. We have to attend the live sessions. We have to go back and reread ourselves the content. We have to practice and participate in the MCQs in the sessions. We have to go back and practice the claim MCQs, and we have to thoroughly focus on the things to remember. We have to thoroughly focus on the important content, and all of that becomes important. So we have to be consistent with our approach. Right, so I think that is also does that clear, Venkateshwari? Is that clear, Saloni? Are your questions answered? So part 1 will get covered in 2 months. How much time part 2 and part 3 will take to get completed? Sorry, I can't get your name because it's showing by a number. See, we have already the recorded versions on the part 2 and part 3 on the on the LMS portal. If you have urgency to appear, I think the recordings are well recorded such a way that you will be able to learn. But if you're if you want to do the live sessions, it may take time. So that will definitely start only after we have cleared we have completed the part 1 program. So it is going to start somewhere in August. Probably, again, depending on the schedule, folks, depending on the commitments. But yes, it should start somewhere in August once you've completed this. And based on that, we'll go with part 2. Again, similar approach. I think part 2, the content would be similar to what we have seen in part 1. Here and there, 2-3 sessions maximum. And part 3 is a little bit lengthier. So we have more than 20 sessions of the part 3. So that is how it is structured. Yeah. Would be, I hope that I was able to answer your question.
Yeah, I have one question. Like, if we are not able to attend live sessions for any reason, so that particular recordings will be available on the.
Yes. So yes, absolutely, you will get access to all the recordings, and you can have a look on the recordings, get kind of speeded up on and cover up the left out portion and appear it. A lot of people have kind of cleared the exam just by going through the recording as well, because of the conflicting timings of certain other commitments. People have just referred to the recordings, appear faster and clear the exam as well. All right, folks. So last slide I have is what is my or our expectations from you. My recommendation is to attend all the live sessions. My recommendation is to participate in the live sessions. My recommendation is do a thorough self-study during the week for the respective part that we have covered, respective unit that we have covered. Attend MCQs after each session to have more and better conceptual clarity of the exam, and stay consistent. So the next 2 months, please be consistent so that you don't leave the grip on the concept. And once you're through the session series, you will get a lot of confidence, and within a month's time, you should target to clear the exam. So that is my overall take. We don't have to delay the examination date. So we don't have to take 3 months to appear for the exam. Trust me, if we are doing that, we're actually losing time, and we are actually going to lose on the confidence level for the exam. Yeah, please go ahead. What would be the appropriate time on to appear for exam if the course finishes by July and revision session in August as discussed? Richard, so again, you should plan for August 10, first week of September at max. If you're confident, you don't need the revision session, you want to appear after 7 days, once the session series gets closed, you can appear in 10 days time, 7 days time, whatever way it suits you. Yeah, does that make sense? Richard, is that clear? Perfect. So any other doubts, folks? I think I've largely covered what I was supposed to cover. Let me just go back on the agenda schedule. You can all reach out to me over the WhatsApp group. So we have already kind of created the WhatsApp group for this batch. If you have any queries, please post it in the group. There are so many others who can learn from the queries that are being raised by any member, as simple as it is. It helps in learning other members as well. So I encourage everyone to kind of participate, keep the session live. Keep the WhatsApp group live in case anyone is asking for the queries. Please feel free to answer it. In case I see that there is no responses or there are certain queries that are not being answered, I will probably I'll most likely share I'll mostly share the voice note to give the clarification on a personalized note separately, or if there is a general query for the larger group, I'll share it on the WhatsApp itself. That is the approach that we follow. Normally, the tag for me is I normally try to send it done in there, but if in case I miss and if there's some sort of reminder urgency, I'll try to respond as soon as possible. So I think from coming back on the agenda, folks, we have covered the introduction, we have covered the understanding program, registration process, what CIA Part 1 covers, the software, the risk galaxy approach, our expectation, the schedule. Open to answer any Q&A if you have any further. Otherwise, if you are all up, anyone, especially the new folks who have never introduced yourself, would you like to cover yourself? Would you like to come up and say a bit about yourself and your share your experience, share your organization details, and what are you what are you expecting from the program, and why you have enrolled for the CIA program? So maybe share some thoughts over it. Yeah, Rajesh, please go ahead if you have any queries. So let's do the queries and we can do the introduction. Yeah.
My question was, who will provide the GLAM software, please? Who's the contact person?
Everything by the VGLD Institute, yes.
So who am I supposed to get in touch with?
Rajesh, you can text me on the group. Otherwise, Dipender ji is there. I think Bulbul is there. So you can get in touch with any of the team members there. If you're facing any problem, you can just text me. Hi, I will share you Dipender ji's number and you can reach out to the person.
No, why I'm raising this question, Arpit, and I'm a little bit concerned is I had joined this course in October last year, but it was just unfortunate that I did not have the time. So I am now taking up the first session today. And in the interim, I would have sent at least 6 emails to somebody called Neelu, if I'm not mistaken. And I just did not get any traction from her. So that is why I'm posing this question first time.
So no worries, Rajesh. I understand there were certain escalations in the past, and there has been certain problems. And I have personally taken that up with the senior folks at VGLD, directly to the VG sir as well. In case of that is getting repetitive, please try to escalate it to me. Please try to reach out to me. I will try to support. So it's an institute matter, honestly speaking, but I try to support as much as possible so that it gets escalated at the right forum and the resolution is fast and foremost. I understand there was some problem at the book because of some issue at the vendor end, but I have been also escalating this and repetitively. But please take it up with me if you have any that concern. I'll share you the Benderji's number for a direct contact and you can speak to him about this concern. Are you sorted now or still there is gap?
No, I'm still not sorted. That's why I raised this query.
Okay, so Rajesh, you can connect with me separately also. You can text me
Okay.
and on my WhatsApp number and let me know your query. I'll take it up at the right place.
Fine, thank you.
Sure. And that's for all everyone, by the way. If you are having any such concerns, understand there have been a lot in the past. As I said, though it's an institute matter, but and I'm more of a faculty to support to help you to learn, and it's more administrative. But still, I know without administration, everything cannot be rolled out, right? If you don't have the book, how will you study? So everything is equally important. I completely understand, and for that purpose, I will kind of support all of it together, and I will take it up with the right person, so that everything gets escalated and get immediately solved as much as possible. And I'll try to support as much as that. Yeah. All right, Rohit, yeah, please go ahead. Rohit, you want to ask something?
No, nothing from my end.
All right, so great. Anyone else? I echo the Rajesh concern. Got my resolution after approx 1 month of follow-up. Okay, Namrata is asking share Chanchal's number and email ID. I'll share Chanchal's number, Namrata, and the email ID on the WhatsApp group for the larger benefit. Okay, great. So any other doubts? Am I able to solve everyone's doubt? Is that clear, everyone? Our approach, everything, what we are going to cover? Are you all going to attend the live sessions first of all? Yes?
Yes.
No?
Yes.
Yes, sir.
Yes.
So I know, folks, we are already like it was 1 hour schedule, but I would love to hear from a couple of folks about them. If you're open to share your journey, your quick introduction, and your perspective to join the CIA program, little bit about your experience, it will be very helpful. Would you like to take it up? This will also help others also. Other your co-students also would know you are a little bit more better. Yeah, please.
Arpit, this is Rajesh again. I think amongst all the participants, I would be the senior most, and I would like to give a brief introduction. I've spent 3 decades in the banking industry. Nearly 15 years, I was the group head of audit for a very, it was the largest private bank in the UAE, which is Mashreq Bank, just for the information of all. I headed the audit function. It's just unfortunate that while I was in my profession, I never had the time to actually study for CIA. And that's where I could not get this particular certification. It was just unfortunate that in 2020 early, I was badly affected by COVID in New York. I'd been there to attend a meeting with the Federal Reserve there, again, an audit requirement. And I took up an early retirement and I came back to India last year in July. And that's where I enrolled with you all in October. But again, unfortunate that I could not have the time to study. So now I'm getting back to trying to at least get this particular certification, which for whatever it is worth may not add a value for me from a career perspective because I've been there and done that. But nevertheless, my advice to everybody is that this is a very important certification. And like Arpit, you touched upon earlier that this is not only audit, this is principally risk. And risk is a larger terminology within at least the financial industry. So my request to all will be, it's a tricky exam. The options are very, very similar. And when you sit back and look at the options, you realize that, oh, I could have done, that option was better than this one. And that's where the 80% in part 1 is a slightly tough ask. But I'm confident that most of the people will share this. So that's an introduction from my perspective.
Thank you, Rajesh. Thank you for your introduction. I think we are going to equally learn from you in the session series. And that's why I always encourage to participate and all. It's really glad to know that about you and your experience overall. Please feel free to add a lot of more insights based on your dynamic experience of significant years during the session series also. That will be helpful to everyone.
Hi, Bhaswati here. encouraged by Rajesh's view of the entire his particular this. I would like to say that I have also covered almost 3 decades, by more, a little above 3 decades probably, in banking industry across Bank of America, Citibank, and the likes. And exactly like Rajesh, while I'm still working, I really didn't have time much to brush up on my risk education after my initial CA. And therefore, I thought with the world having changed so much, education itself has gone through so much. This is probably the right time before I actually retire and probably take up consulting to probably get.
I have to add here, Baswati. I know so many folks, though I'm way younger and much lesser experience, probably half of experience that you and Rajesh mentioned. But the way I've seen it is across the leadership team. Uh, Everyone wanted to do CIA. Everyone I've interacted with among those leadership folks who have been chartered accountants, who have been MBA finance or whatever, but they always, all of them wanted to do CIA. But as there was one common problem that the study time is not available. So there's very difficult for someone to pick the books, and especially the larger the time gap increases, this becomes a more bigger problem. So we can read an agreement for that matter for a review in our daytime, which is a 200 pages agreement. But if we have to be asked to read a book, which is a 200 pages for our exam, it's difficult to read it in 1 day, right? So that is how I see it. But nevertheless, I think with the emerging, and I think that was the one reason that when I started taking the CIA session series, folks, was also for the reason to support people to go through the content first. So that is where I started with. So I kind of started with a journey wherein I said that, okay, I'll help you to clear the content and complete the content in just 7 days or 10 days time. Okay, and that's how I started this journey. And with the results that we've seen, like when I did a first time voluntary program, and it was some 20 folks across different cities and different countries who attended this voluntary program for the first time back in 2020 when this COVID impacted, and with the part 1. And out of the 20 folks, 15 people kind of appeared for the exam, and within a month's time we had 13 people clearing out of it. And all those 2 people who could not clear were actually skipped one of the 2 sessions, and they kind of looked for those improvement areas also. And the score was also roughly about 580, 590. So what I'm trying to say is that the most difficult part is to cover the content. And apart from not only covering the content, we'll cover much more in the session series, so that encourages and that helps clear the examination also, folks. Sorry to interrupt there. Baswati, can you please continue? Sorry about that.
No. Thank you so much for sharing. I'm pretty encouraged by the way you're putting across how to go forward. And yeah, looking forward to this journey. Thank you.
Thank you, Baswati. So Baswati, you and Rajesh, both of you are from Mumbai. Are you all located from Mumbai?
I'm from Bangalore.
Okay, you're from Bangalore. And Rajesh, you're from?
I'm based out of Delhi.
You're from Delhi. Great. So good to know you, and thank you so much for being part of the session series. Looking forward from a lot of insights from both of you. Please go ahead next.
Hi, Arpit. This is Vikas. So basically, it's really inspiring to hear from Rajesh and Baswati. Basically, I also belong from the chartered accountancy background, and I've been here in UAE for past couple of years.
Sorry, Vikas, can you be a little louder, please?
So basically, I have overall almost 8 years of experience in my auditing and assurance field. But for last 2 years, I've been totally involved into risk compliance and assurance for an MNC based in Dubai. So I was working there for risk and this risk assurance as well as for SOP implementation and development. So currently, last year only I shifted my job for as a finance professional. Currently, I'm working now for UAE government. So basically, now I'm not more into compliance area, but I have almost an experience of 8 to 9 years working in that field. And just now I shifted to as a finance professional over here. So yeah, so the need of CIA. So after this chartered accountancy thing, I always felt that as this being my area of interest and expertise, I always want to conquer a degree which supports more and to enhance my knowledge as well. But as of you are in the starting ages of your career, so you have to more focus on the work. So I couldn't got that much time, unfortunately. So that's why I'm now looking forward for this thing to get back to my compliance and auditing assurance expertise areas to move from this financial professional. So I just wanted to concur my CIE. That's it.
That's
all
great.
from
That's
my
great
side.
to hear.
Thank
So
you.
you're based out of Dubai with us?
Yes, basically I'm based in Dubai, but currently I'm working for Abu Dhabi government. So that is a satellite company of UAE.
Nice, nice, nice. Happy to have you with us for the session series. Looking
Same
forward
here,
to
and
a lot of
lot to
interaction during
hear
the
from
session
all of
series.
you. Thank you so much, Arpit. Thank you.
Thank you, Vikas.
Hi, Arpit, and good evening, everyone. My name is Rohit, and I am a CA come IFRS certified by qualification. I'm having close to 10 plus years of experience in the field of FP&A, MIS reporting, global accounting, and currently working in the audit field. So ideally, people start from audit and then they go towards accounting and other stuff. But my journey is a little bit different. So I'm currently working in a bearing manufacturing company, which is Timken, and working here as a senior auditor, reporting in US. So basically based out in Bangalore, and the need for CIA. So CIA, as has rightly been kind of shown in the risk galaxy, it contributes towards various areas, and that's where as a audit professional now I would like to kind of enhance my profile through to different areas, not just stuck to internal audit or a specific area. And that's where I would like to pursue this course. Thank you.
Perfect, perfect. Rohit, you mentioned how many years of experience?
10 plus years of experience.
Wow, wow, that's nice. That's super. Great to have you, Rohit. Looking
I
forward
would
for a lot of interaction. Thank you.
I would like to go next. So I have roughly 8+ years
Alabi,
of
you have to
experience.
call out your name. I'm not sure everyone can know.
Alabi Desai. Okay, so I have a approximate experience of 8 years now, little over 8 years. So I was actually, when listening to Bhaspati, I realized that we also share same companies. So I have also largely worked with Citibank for close to 6 years. And then so with Citibank, I've worked across many verticals primarily, and the latest one was with the compliance, risk and concurrent audit department, mainly in the retail branch based out of Delhi. My branch was Gurgaon. So after that, I worked with EY for 1 year's 10 months to be very exact. And there was with EY, I was part of the independence team where the domain was risk management systems, RMS. And then currently I'm working with JLL, the Global Internal Audit Team. So that's the pure audit team that we're working on. So like we have different verticals in audit, like JLL being an investment and a real estate consulting firm. So what all operations JLL does, that is how it is, different categorized into verticals, and then so we perform the audit. So we are across complete globe, we are a bunch of just 25 people who are responsible for all of the audit department, and I am one of them. So that's the reason I wanted to pursue CIA. Education wise, I have done my bachelor's in commerce and then MBA in finance, and then a 1 year course from IIM, and now I am trying to pursue CIA, and let's hope I am able to do that.
You're based out of Alabi, which city you said?
Delhi.
Delhi. Okay, nice, nice, wonderful. Good to hear you, and surely you will clear. I'm confident about it.
Thank you so
No, I'm
much.
sure about it. Yeah. So great, good to have you, and looking forward to a lot of interactions. Thank you so much for joining in.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Hello. Hello.
Hello, Mohammed. Yeah, hi.
Hi, how are you? My name is Muhammad Khan. I'm from Saudi Arabia, although Indian national. I am ACCA qualified in January, and I've started my preparing for the CIA challenge exam in February, and probably I am planning to give it in August. So I've been taking your classes since February. And I'm working here in Saudi Arabia as an assistant manager of internal audit in a manufacturing company. We manufacture pharmaceutical medicines, basically. And I'm here since 2 years. yes, I'm doing this course. Why? Because previously I used to see that whenever there's a job application, it used to say that CIA is preferred, but now in a job application it says CIA is a must. So if we want to excel in our careers and become managers and directors and VP internal audit, so we need to have this. This is a must.
Right, right.
Thank you, everyone.
Thank you, Mohammed. Thank you for joining in from
Saudi Arabia.
I hope my communication is clear, right, for you? Yeah?
Yes, it is very clear.
It's great. So I just want to add what Mohammed had said regarding this application piece, folks. The beauty of and the best part of the CIA piece is after the CIA challenge exam has come. So like other folks said, whoever was senior earlier, we have seen that people were practicing in the risk advisory profession, and they always wanted to be CIA, but somehow because of the timing issues, because of the time issues, sometimes because of lack of interest further in studies, because of so much other commitments that we have as a risk professional, audit committee meetings, schedules, board meetings, and so many things going on. It's very difficult to concentrate on work. So how I see it is that now after CIA challenge exam has come up, all those senior leadership people are also trying, and it's significantly being encouraged by the IA board members as well to appear and clear this exam. The way I see it is, and I've been talking about this to different people also, that once these folks themselves they clear these exams, they all understand the importance of the CIA program and the need of getting into the internal audit profile would be highly appreciated if someone is already having a CIA certification itself. So how I see it is, though today there are so much of demand is there for the risk professionals. So even at the junior positions, people are getting easily by just being graduates, by being MBAs, by being chartered accountants. But the way I see it is, there will be a lot more weightage would be given in the times to come to the CIAs, because there is a significant increase in the number of CIAs also that we're seeing in the last 2 years. So once the senior folks themselves become CIA, that is where they can also ask, look, I'm looking for someone who have done the CIA program. So that's the reason I'm saying it, that in the times to change, in the changing times in the next couple of years, you will see that CIA, though it was still given, but it will be more given weightage even in India from having the certification point of view, from increasing your roles and increasing your horizon and leveraging your career growth. So I think I will just add to that. Thank you, Rajesh. No worries. Thank you, Baswati. All right. So thank you, Rishabh. All right. So we have anyone else who would like to cover? Alex, you want to go? Yeah.
Sure, Arpit. Hi, everyone. Alex this side. I'm basically out of Bangalore. Currently, I'm in HSBC. I have 10 plus years of experience in all banking domain, in AML, due diligence. And now I'm currently working with this profile called assurance control testing. And I felt that CIA would be a game changer for me, because I want to have a complete cycle of what exactly I'm doing now. So I thought pitching into this profile will really help me for a career growth, and that's the very reason of pursuing CIA for me. Yeah.
Great. Thank you so much, Alex, for joining in. Looking forward to see you in the session series. Thank you so much.
Yeah, thanks.
Yeah.
This is
Sami, you want to go ahead?
Yeah, and good evening to all. And I have around 15 years plus post-qualification experience, having worked started my career in internal audit and then moved into various process migration, implementation, and various reporting profiles in the corporate, and left the corporate and moved into independent consulting for past 4 years. So have thought of and that's when I thought of doing this as a professional certification and adding it, since I moved into independent consulting, it would help me. I thought of, I enrolled in the course and thought of studying it on my own, but then came across VGLD and then went through the recording, but then I stumbled upon the actual live classes of part 3, and that's when I realized that it helped me a lot, and which recently finished, and now I'm scheduled to have my exams shortly on that. And since on Arpit's suggestion, I joined this part one also live classes because it helps a lot in holding the attention and grasping from the live discussions rather than going through the recordings is what I felt. So I'm much looking forward to the sessions. Yeah.
Thank you so much, Soumya. Thank you so much. Yeah. Looking forward for your equal participation in part 1 as well.
Sure.
Yeah. All right. So can we have the next one? Ishita, you want to go next? Ishita, meet the.
Sure.
Yeah.
Thanks, sir. Ishita here. Basically, I am from Saurashtra, Gujarat, and now currently I am working as an account head in the leading the Physiotherapy Institute of Saurashtra, and I would like to switch in the auditing field, and in future I would like to settle down in UAE. That's why I have joined this course. And the second reason is that in the Saurashtra, there is no concept of internal auditing. Corporates are considered as a waste of money to incorporate internal auditing system and internal control system. So after 5 years, there is a bright future in the Saurashtra as well. That's why I have started.
And this is very good, Ishita. So you will get a lot of learning also. And also, I think that's a good idea. There's a lot of demand for these professions in the Middle East market. And they kind of consider CIA as more than enough and a most important certification to kind of get onboarded for their team members. So this will really help you for sure.
Yes, yes. And second thing I want to say that I have joined I am working as an account head, so there is no idea about the auditing and the conceptual clarity of the auditing area. I have worked as an external auditing while I was working doing the articleship, so it would be very challenging for me to go ahead.
Okay.
In this.
So no worries if you feel more if you need some more clarity on some of the concepts, you can of course reach out on separately also, or you can discuss in the questions. So you probably will have to put little
Yes, sir. I have to put some more.
Concept.
Yes, definitely. Thank you.
Clarity, right? Yes. Sure, Ashita. Great. Can I have the next one, please?
Can I?
Yeah, please go ahead, Isha.
Hi,
do we call you Isha or do we call you Aisha?
It's Isha.
Okay, Isha. Perfect, Isha. Please go ahead.
Yeah, hi Arpit, hi everyone. So I guess I'm the youngest one here. I just have 2 years of experience, not even 2 complete. So I will be completing 2 years this August. And I am currently working in an industry, which is basically a debt collection industry. And by qualification, I'm just a BCom honors graduate, and I'm looking forward to pursue CIA because obviously for moving forward, I need a degree. And internal audit is something that I'm pursuing for past 2 years now. So I would be needing guidance from all of you. I will be learning a lot from all of your experiences. Everyone here is 8+ years, 10+ years, 30+ years. So that's really great.
Right. Anisha, you're from which city otherwise?
Delhi.
Delhi. Great. So good, Isha, good. Don't worry about 2 years. There are so many people who within 2 years have also cleared the CIA program. So that would not be a worrying point for you. Don't worry at all. Yeah, great.
Thank you.
So please go ahead. Thank you.
Hi everyone. My name is Kapil Sharma. Although my name is appear on the screen as Saloni Tandon. Just to please correct the name. Yeah. So I am MBA Finance and working in NBFC since last 10 years. So recently RBI has mandatory risk-based internal audit in NBFC sector. So I keen to learn about the risk-based internal audit. So that's the reason I have enrolled myself in CIA to learn more about it.
Nice. And you're working on the risk in the internal domain only?
Yeah, I'm working internal audit domain.
Okay. Okay, nice. And Kapil, you're from which city?
From Gurgaon.
Okay, wonderful. Yeah. Great. Looking forward to see you in the session series as well.
Sure. Thank you.
Great. So yeah, great. We have even Rohit Sisodia. You want to go next? Rahul Ranjan.
Yeah, good evening, everyone. So my name is Rohit, and right now I'm in Bengaluru, and I'm working as a senior consultant with one of the risk management firms based in Delhi. And I'm having almost 1.5 years in the consulting domain, and I have experience of working on my own venture for 1.5 years before, and I've done my master's in risk management, and I'm also a registered GST tax practitioner. So with the Board of Excise and Customs, I'm a member. So I'm
So
looking
Rohit,
to
how many years of total experience you mentioned?
total experience, my personal my own venture experience plus the firm experience, it would be something 3 years. So I'm
3
considering both because I have faced the risk practically when I was working there. when, so that is something which gives advantage. And with CIA,
Yeah, it's always good learning. Yeah.
Yeah, what the reason for doing CI is like I'm not a CA first of all, so that is a thing. And secondly, like I like versatility, so CI will give me a versatile domains where I can prosper and grow.
Yes, absolutely, absolutely. And the unlimited learning, folks. After, so I'm sure Basuti and
Yeah, once we grow in
Rajesh would have
ladder
added
and
more, but yeah, so there's a significant scope of learning all throughout your career journey because you kind of interact with different industries, work with various organizations. So there's significant learning. Yeah, great.
yeah, obviously once we
Great.
grow in the ladder, and obviously when we take more responsibilities, then obviously we should have a comprehensive knowledge of each and every domain which is their risk management.
Right, right, absolutely. Great, great, great. Looking forward to see you in the session series.
Yeah.
I think we're left with one or two more. Rahul, Richa.
Yeah, hello everyone. Myself Richa, and I'm currently working with EY.
Anyone else?
And
Meet, you want to go ahead? Yeah, please go ahead. Hello, can you all hear me?
Yes.
Richa, can you take that again, please, if you're with us? Yeah.
Can you hear me now, Arpit?
Yeah, please go ahead.
Okay, so hello everyone. My name is Richa. I'm working with EY, and it's been close to 7 years now. And out of which 6 years I was associated with audit team, external audit. And for past 1 year, I'm working with FAS, SOX team. And this is the reason that I enrolled myself into CIA program. So just to know about internal auditing and enhancing my internal audit part also. And yeah, looking forward to these sessions. And I hope that would be, yeah, participative. Yeah.
Yeah. So Richa, you're based on which city?
I'm based out of Lucknow, but I work for Gurgaon location.
So
Yeah.
Gurgaon, Richa, is the Cyber Park office, the new one?
Yeah, right.
Oh, okay.
Great. So we have colleagues now getting connected.
Yeah.
Probably.
So it was the same building. So it actually has just now been constructed, and EY has moved to that building just few months back. I think so in February this year.
Yeah, right.
Yeah,
right. Great. So good to see. Good to have you, Richa, in the session series. Looking forward to you in the session series. Yeah. Great.
Thank you, Arvind. Thank you.
Thank you, Richa. Yeah. Do we have anyone left? Meet, you want to go ahead, please? Yeah.
Yeah. Hi, Arpit. So before I begin, I'm really, humbled and encouraged by all the senior folks out here, and really look forward to learn from their experiences and from you as well, obviously. So my name is Meet. I'm based out of Delhi. I work as an associate for GT US in Indian offices as a part of GRC team, predominantly in SOX audits. So I think I'm the youngest, and I just have almost 1 year of experience. So prior to joining GT, I've done my international diploma in risk management. So yeah, that's it.
That's great. Yeah. To me, see, a lot of young folks bring a lot of energy also to the forum. So that's good to have you, right? So don't worry about it.
Yeah. No,
yeah. Great. So Nupur is giving her introduction on the chat box. She says, "Hi everyone. I might be out of network. For intro, I have 9 years post CA qualification experience, 8 years from 3 Big Fours, EY, KPMG, and Deloitte. Now in Realme Gurgaon Cyber Hub as in Deloitte AGM. This is my second session, part 3 lectures done recently." Okay, great, Nupur. Yeah. Then we also had Gurpreet. Gurpreet is saying, as my name mentioned, Gurpreet Singh. I also had done part of my articleship in internal audit department from SNB India and took transfer as my mother was not able to keep good health. My entire articleship was in employment area, 9 years of working experience right now in internal audit, but I figured out that I've gained limited knowledge while working in small companies. Now I want to upskill myself and want to work in MNC and get better exposure and opportunity to excel. Great. All right, so we are left with anyone. Do we have anyone? Rahul Ranjan, I guess,
Pramod
and I
here.
think Richard Dwivedi. Yes, yeah. Pramod, please go ahead, please. Yeah.
Yeah, so I am in a financial domain. I have handled finance, accounting, operations, project management, business process excellence, finance reengineering, project management, process migration and transformation, P2P, RPA, O2C. These kind of terminologies are like, core accounting terminologies. Then currently I'm into internal audit and quality assurance team for finance department in a private life insurance company. I have done my MBA from Simonji, and why I got into this was because I was being worked in all the core accounting functions. I mean, I have worked with companies like Cadbury's, Coca-Cola, Tata AIA, JP Morgan Chase, and currently I'm working with PNB MetLife Insurance. So in the last 2 years, I have been handling the finance internal audits and quality assurance. And this is where the interest sparked for getting a certified course, which will help me understand the core fundamentals of all the internal audit and quality assurance. The activities which I do are all the similar activities which are which are taught as a part of this curriculum, and I thought that a professional knowledge would definitely be helpful to me.
Absolutely.
That's it.
Thank you so much, Pramod. I mean, it's always to add, folks, we kind of learn a lot from Pramod as well during the sessions. There's a lot of participation that happens. So that will be, Pramod, I look forward for your all the interaction and participation in the session series. Yeah.
Sure. Thanks.
Thank you. Rahul Ranjan, please go ahead. Rahul, you want to go ahead? All right, so not sure if Rahul can hear us. Can you all hear me? Can you all hear me?
Yes,
Anyone? Yes. Okay. So I think anyone else who would like to go up, folks? I think we have already lapsed the time for about a good time. It was good discussing. Anyone else who would like to go up? I think we've largely covered, other than one or two folks. So if you want to go ahead, we can take a quick 10 seconds pause. All right, so I think we are done largely, folks. So thank you so much for joining in. I look forward for everyone to see you all in the session series with a lot of energy and enthusiasm. Looking forward to have a detailed discussion on the CIA Part 1 program, a lot of learnings, a lot of insights, a lot of practical example. See you all in the next session series. Till then, take care of yourself. Stay happy, stay healthy, folks, and wish you all the best in your endeavors. Thank you so much.